is all over.
He's the hero with the shot. To me, Paul's the hero with the pass.
The heroics of Ray Allen and Paul Pierce bringing us to game number 2. Celtic fans ecstatic about their team's dramatic turnaround in the second half Sunday night. Again, a packed house at the TD Garden here in Boston as the NBA playoffs continue on TNT. It is the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics moments away from game 2 of this opening round series. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Steve Kerr. Will be joined in a moment by David Aldridge. Chauncey Billups, as mentioned during the course of the pregame show, will sit it out with that strained left knee. So the second-year player out of Florida State, Tony Douglas, will start. As for the Celtics, Shaquille O'Neal continues to be sidelined with a strained calf, but Jermaine O'Neal comes off that stellar performance Sunday night.
Well, if Jermaine continues to play the way he did in game 1, Shaq can take his time because Jermaine was phenomenal. And he's given Boston a shot-blocking presence that they don't normally have.
Celtics controlling the opening tip. The officiating crew, Joey Crawford, Bennett Salvatore, and Michael Smith. Doc Rivers telling us earlier, yes, we were very fortunate to win. And Boston turns it over on their first possession. Doc saying we did not get into their bodies. We did not pressure them. We just got off the body too much.
Yeah, their mindset is normally to be very aggressive, as Landry Fields is going to get a couple of free throws here. But I think that sometimes happens in game 1 of a series. There's maybe a little less of a sense of urgency, particularly for the favorite. You know, we've seen a lot of the favorites, the 1 and 2 seeds, and the 3 seeds struggle, either losing or struggling through difficult games early on this year.
Landry Fields, the rookie out of Stanford, played 19 minutes in game 1, 0 for 3 from the field. And since the trade with Denver bringing Carmelo Anthony to New York, Landry Fields has not been the same player. More in the flow prior to the trade.
Yeah, it was the previous team was a team that ran a lot more, and I think he fit in a little bit better. Still a terrific player, one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA. A couple of misses on the free throw line to start out with, and that's not good. He needs to see the ball go through the hoop for some confidence.
Fields did have an excellent first half of the season. Pierce played by Anthony as a wide open Garnett. Rebounded by Fields.
Well, right away we're seeing Boston get a little more movement and motion than they got in game 1 in the first half, as Stoudemire flies through the air, and New York will retain possession. But Doc Rivers told us before the game he felt like the Celtics pounded the ball inside too much in the first half the other night, and they need to get that motion and force New York's defense to try to rotate more than one time.
Doc saying, I thought we were ready game 1, but we did not play well, particularly in that first half. Here is Fields, nice dish off to Kuriaf, rebounded by Garnett.
How about Jermaine O'Neal again, protecting the rim.
Rondo, who will continue to get the wide open looks, hit his shot in the first half the other night, but the team did not have its usual cohesion because he was taking jump shots.
Yeah, well, when he's shooting, that means Ray Allen and Paul Pierce are not. And I think the Celtics lose their flow as a result.
Minute and a half gone by with no score as Rondo drives and draws the foul.
And this is when Boston is at its best. I mean, they're not the prototypical fast-breaking team. They're not Phoenix. You know, they're not going to run up and down all game. But when they get out in transition and Rondo can penetrate, he's either going to get to the free throw line or score a layup or find Ray Allen and Paul Pierce for trailing three-pointers in transition, and that's when Boston really gets going.
Rondo only a 57% free throw shooter. He was fouled by Douglas. Mike D'Antoni telling us it will be combinations of Tony Douglas and Anthony Carter in the absence of Chauncey Billups. Meanwhile, the other night, Rondo coming close to a triple-double.
Yeah, it's almost nightly. I mean, just the way he plays, he's a terrific rebounder. He's got those long arms, and he handles the ball 90% of the time in this offense. So he's always going to have high assist numbers.
Pass too strong. Stoudemire trying to hit the cutting Fields. Looks like they're trying to get Fields involved early.
Well, they're going to need him. You know, with Billups out, that shortens the bench rotation. So you've got Douglas starting. Fields will be asked to play more minutes, and it's important for him to get off to a good start.
Garnett facing up on Turiaf. Now here's the double as Fields came over. Rebounded by Anthony. The outlet to Fields with Pierce back. Nice move. Landry Fields with his first playoff field goal.
New York with 2 fast break points in game 1. 2 for a Mike D'Antoni team. That's stunning. And so I agree with the guys in the studio. We heard Charles and Kenny talk about the fact that Douglas is actually a better fast break option than Chauncey Billups. I think New York can push the tempo a little bit tonight.
Here's Pierce off of that three-point attempt. Tony Douglas, originally a first-round pick of the Los Angeles Lakers, and traded to the Knicks. Nice move right there.
And that's what we're talking about. I mean, he's got the speed that Billups doesn't have, and that's critical because if New York has to play against Boston's half-court defense all game, they're in big trouble.
3 minutes in, this is a pitcher's duel here at the start.
Yeah.
Pierce is stopped, kept alive. Here is O'Neal blocked. Good play by Carmelo Anthony. 3 on the shot clock. The Celtics here at the start, 0 for their first 6.
Well, O'Neal was 6 for 6 the other night, but Carmelo Anthony making sure he doesn't start off with a make here in game 2.
Rondo looking to inbound, could not find anybody, just did get it in. Garnett has to fire one up.
Well, we saw this the other night, Marv, in the first half. New York's defense was really good in the first half, and they're always pretty good at the point of attack as Fields is way off on the 3.
Here comes Rondo going right at Douglas. Douglas stepped away, and Rondo with the scoop.
And that's the problem for New York. Bad shots or turnovers leads to that one-man fast break with Rondo. So the Knicks have to execute offensively, and it'll help them at the other end.
Anthony thought he was fouled. Here comes Rondo. Rondo again down the lane.
He's unbelievable, isn't he? In transition.
Boston missed its first 7 from the field. They now lead it 5-4. Here's Douglas with the runner. Rebounded by Garnett. Rondo again on the move. Douglas back. Rondo. Rebounded by Anthony. The other night, Carmelo was already sitting down after picking up the 2 early fouls, then came back on and shot well, did not shoot well, obviously, in the second half. Here's Turiaf getting inside, and he lost the grip. He was fouled, but he lost the handle. That should have been a possible 3-point situation.
Well, Marv, I talked about New York's defense, and in the half court on post-ups, they've been pretty good, but in transition, there's not a whole lot they can do with Rondo running the ball right to the rim. And that's why it's so important for New York to take care of the ball, to take good shots. You know, we saw it the other night in game 1 when Boston was struggling. It was because they were in the half court constantly.
Foul on O'Neal. Turiaf only a 63% free throw shooter. As we take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. NBA TV tomorrow, Memphis at San Antonio meeting in game 2. ESPN Friday. It'll be the continuation of the Knicks and Celtics as they move over to Madison Square Garden in New York, and the Lakers playing at New Orleans in game 3. ABC Sunday, Miami, Philly, and Boston at New York. Knicks up 6-5. It's game 2 of this best of 7. Allen, yes. Ray Allen has given the Celtics the 1-point lead. And what has to please Ray Allen most about the other night, that he was able to get shots off. And that had been a problem for the last 4 or 5 weeks, as Anthony is able to curl in with a beautiful shot.
Well, going back to Allen, Marv, he didn't even take a field goal in the first quarter as Rondo gets all the way to the rim again. But you're right, Allen eventually found his groove in the second half, and that was critical, obviously hitting the game-winning jumper.
See Stoudemire and Anthony looking at each other off that last drive by Rondo, who has certainly had his way getting to the rim. Defensive 3-second violation is called. That'll put Carmelo Anthony at the line. Carmelo in game 1, 5 for 18. Committed that late offensive foul, which he did not agree with. And Mike D'Antoni was right there with that opinion. And that led to the game winner by Ray Allen. And then he attempted a final shot instead of driving to draw the foul or look for a closer attempt.
I thought he settled a lot. He took 8 3-point shots, and he only went to the free throw line 4 times. And those numbers should be reversed if you're Carmelo. I mean, he's one of the strongest players in the league. He's got to get on the move and towards the rim in tonight's game.
Paul Pierce coming over with the rejection of Douglas. Rondo with the finish.
9 fast break points for the Celtics in what, 5.5 minutes. I mean, this is a team that may not get 9 fast break points in an entire game in the regular season.
Here is Stoudemire. Garnett rebound. Fields went down. 5-on-4 for the Celtics as Rondo was actually fouled twice. Did not like the hack from Turiaf after the initial foul on him.
But Rondo has nothing to be upset about. If it's a continuation play, then Turiaf is making the right move here. Because if there's a foul called, Turiaf has to stop the play. Otherwise, Rondo's going to make the bucket and get a free throw.
Foul committed by Douglas, so that's 2 on Douglas, and it appears he will take a seat. Anthony Carter off the bench. So Rondo back at the line.
Luxury for Mike D'Antoni to have Anthony Carter, who isn't going to wow you statistically, but this guy has pretty much seen it all in the NBA. Ask George Karl about it. Remember when